wish I man, there was ever a time in which Book could be here to see this, so he could finally appreciate.
Is this who I think it
He
is?
would really appreciate this.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I knew it. I told you you would come around. I told you you could not resist. I told you you could not resist the Monday night Messiah, the Friday night idiot, as you used to call him, Seth freaking Rollins.
Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
And welcome back, everybody, again. Part 2 of the best worst of 2022. Tonight we are doing the best. We did the worst. You can check that out. Either you can watch it on YouTube or you can listen to the audio podcast now available on all your favorite podcast platforms. We'll talk more about that later. The Real Biggie and Rob the Ambassador. How is it going? I know we both just got done watching SmackDown. We're 2 weeks away from the Rumble. So
2 weeks from tomorrow.
yeah, so it's getting to that season. It's getting to that season.
I love this time of year, man. Rumble's my favorite event. I say it all the time. But yeah, we're 2 weeks away. SmackDown, once again, always a solid show. I thought the main event was good. I'm not going to give away any details or spoilers for people who may not have watched it yet, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, well done. I found a couple of the women's matches to be interesting. One, I'm not sure needed to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I found the Liv Morgan thing very intriguing. I'll say that. I thought that was actually interesting, and the fact that she's voluntarily going in number 1 in the Rumble. Okay, hey, that's one way to get over.
I mean, man, she's back in her underdog role, and we'll see, how it turns out for her this time. Got her a title shot last time, even a title run, a short one, but got her one.
Yeah, I think she'll do good in the Rumble. She did good in the Rumble last year, so
I think she'll perform well, but she ain't winning.
No. Well, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win actually.
Yeah, I know it won't be Liv.
Yeah, well, might not be Liv, but definitely ain't gonna be Charlotte, so we can rule that out.
Well, Charlotte's champ, so she shouldn't be in the Rumble. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Well, like I said, I don't want to give away anything that happened tonight, but I think she's going to have her own business to take care of at the Rumble.
Yeah, they're trying to ramp that up. I guess.
I mean, she's fought everybody. Look, obviously, the person they're building up to isn't going to beat her, but what else you going to do?
It's a thin list over there. SmackDown there.
Yeah.
All right. So, getting into the best of 2022. 2022 did have a lot of good that happened. Again, kind of narrowed this list down as well, just from last year. Just want to keep the show tight. We'll start with, we're talking about TV shows. Now we'll go there. Your favorite weekly television show, sir? What did you pick?
Yeah, this one's easy for me. It's SmackDown. To me, by far the best wrestling show on TV. For me, it's a must-see TV. You have Roman and the Bloodline over there, and it's just, to me, and it's only 2 hours as opposed to Raw's 3 hours, which I think really hurts Raw.
Yeah.
It's live. It always seems to be a hot crowd and entertaining. That by far to me is the best show on TV.
Yeah, that's I think I'm trying to think what I had last year. I think last year I picked Dynamite. If not last year, the year before last, I had Dynamite. But I'm gonna agree with you. I am going to agree that SmackDown was the best show in 2022. A lot of things happened, including the fact that however you feel about him, John Cena came back and wrestled a match last week. Well, it was last week, 2 weeks ago. And what else? I mean, just overall, just a better show. And they end up getting, Bray Wyatt when he came back.
Charlotte came back recently.
Charlotte. So it's probably and definitely you can say it is the most consistent of the weekly TV shows. He ended up being on my worst of list, but hey, Karrion Kross did come back on SmackDown. But whatever that's worth,
Yeah, not everything about SmackDown is good, but it's still the best wrestling show on TV, though.
Okay, all right. No shortage of how you feel about the man, but yeah. So
I just think he could be booked better. The talent's there. He just needs to be booked better.
So yeah, I think we are in agreement that SmackDown dominated and was the best show in 2022. What was your favorite premium live event?
This one might catch people by surprise, but I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed AEW's Forbidden Door. I actually wish I would have gone to that. It was in Chicago, but you and I agree that we weren't really familiar with a lot of the talent that was going to be on the show. So, I didn't make the trip out there like I've done for other shows there, but I wish I would have, because even though I didn't know who some of the wrestlers were, there were some tremendous, tremendous matches on that card. Orange Cassidy against Will Ospreay. Adam Cole was in a good match. Unfortunately, he suffered a very bad concussion at that show that he just recently came back from. But man, top to bottom, that card was very, very entertaining. I enjoyed that more than any other wrestling show this entire year. Yeah, I really wish I would have gone to that.
Yeah, I think with all the injuries that kind of hurt the Forbidden Door. You didn't have you didn't have Punk, you didn't have Kenny Omega. I think somebody else was out too. So yeah, they leaned on your Adam Coles and your John Moxleys. But according to you and a whole lot of people, I didn't get to see the event. But according to you and a lot of people I've talked to, that it was one to see. So maybe hey, retrospective doesn't mean it has to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years old. I mean, retrospective could be anything. So maybe that'd be something we revisit this year.
Yeah, I don't know if they've released a DVD of that. If they have, I will definitely purchase it. We did not even purchase the pay-per-view. We were so down on it at the time because of the injuries and because of the lack of familiarity with some of the wrestlers. So we didn't even order the pay-per-view. I happened to catch it on another way the day after.
Another platform.
Yeah, another platform. I was able to see the entire show. Glad I did. It was awesome. But I'm hoping that it has been released on DVD because I would love to own it.
Yeah, I would get it, and then we could review it. I'm sure that there's a way. Where there's a wheel, there's a way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's always a way.
For me, this has to go to being an experience, and nothing beats being there in person. And for me, it was All Out. It's one thing just to be there at a live event and be able to see everything. Where we were sitting gave us the opportunity to come in contact with certain wrestlers and see wrestlers up close and personal, because after the matches, they walked right past us. And it was awesome. And being that close to the stage and seeing all the entrances like that, being up close and really feeling like you're right in the meat and potatoes of the show, getting to see Mark Henry come through the curtain and working with the producers and everything like that. That was pretty cool. And just the atmosphere, anything done in Chicago is going to be lit.
Mhm.
And it was absolutely amazing. And once again, shout out to the ambassador for getting those tickets. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Pressure's on. Got to do it again this year because it's become a tradition. We got to keep it going.
keep it going, keep it going. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, it was all out. The show was, I mean, maybe it's just different just being there, but I felt like 90% of the card was pretty. I'll say 80. 80% of the card was damn good. The only down match that really sticks out in my head is the very, very first match on the buy-in, which was kind of all over the place. But at that point, I was still in kind of awe of where I was sitting, so I had to let that go. But yeah, man, all out, and hey, we bookended somebody's AEW career, if you will. We were there for this first, and we were there for this last.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Ironically enough, the so-called
Chicago made punks.
Chicago made Punk. Yeah. I it was hard not to put All Out there. I actually put one of the matches from All Out on my worst of the Jungle Boy and
Oh
Christian
yeah,
match.
that's
Yeah,
why
which
I
I thought.
changed it to. That was at 90. I was like, oh yeah, 8. I forgot about the other match. Yeah.
But man, look, it was a solid card, and a card is always elevated when you're there in person and it's a hot crowd. And like you said, our seats were awesome seats. That does really elevate the show. But you know, I had to take my emotion out of it because when I look back at that Forbidden Door card, top to bottom, I mean, I don't know if there was a dud on that entire card. It was a solid card, and I guess it caught me by surprise because, as you and I just spoke of, we had low expectations for it, which is why we didn't buy the pay-per-view or why I didn't come out to Chicago uh, to see it in person. We just didn't think it would be that great, but it blew my mind at actually how great it was.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, win some, you lose some. What can I?
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, if it's back there next year, we're gonna have to think about it
Yeah.
this year, not next year. This year.
Yeah. This year. Yep. Okay. Tag team of the year, 2022. Which tag team did it for you, sir?
Well, come on, man. For me, it can only be the Usos. And not just for what they did this year, what they've done for the tag team industry. Tag team wrestling today still isn't what it used to be in the heyday of WWE back in the 80s when WWE first became, you know, hugely popular like it is today. But the Usos, man, the work they have done, they always manage to put on great matches, pretty much no matter who they're wrestling. You can
That's true.
almost be sure that it's going to be an entertaining match. These dudes leave it all out there. They deliver good promos. They're just great characters. And I love everything about them. They this year did break the New Day's record for the longest reign uh, of a single reign because they've been tag team champions more than once, but they broke the record for most days as champion. I think deservedly so. Love the Usos. So yeah, by far, easily my favorite tag team.
Not mad at all. Jimmy and Jay. Jay elevates them even more because he was main event Jay Uso. Um, they just been able to do what you have to do to stay relevant in WWE, and it's kind of be you have to like be true to who you are, but at the same time you have to elevate your game and modify yourself as the years go on and change it up a little bit. And they've been able to do that. And just kind of maybe crank the dial a little more on their personality and and they kept themselves intriguing, and their matches are always, like you said, top notch, man. I mean,
Mhm.
especially matches with the New Day against Butch and Ridge Holland.
The Brawling Brutes, yeah.
Bruce, yeah.
Yep.
Street Profits, the matches against Street
Oh
Profits.
man,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, definitely a good choice. But I have to say, my tag team of the year I felt like it was only right because these guys really, really came around and listen. Let me tell you
I
something.
can't be mad about it. I cannot be mad about that.
These guys here really stepped their game up, and they get the biggest pop at any AEW show now. As soon as the first little rift of their music hits, crowd goes nuts. They already know what time it is. Their alert goes off. They know what time it is. Listen.
Man, I used to hate those dudes, but I have really grown to like them now. But I hated them at first.
And we were all out. Like I said, there's video proof. After the match with Swerve in Our
Swerve in
Glory,
Our Glory, yeah.
I got the high five and scissor with the boys, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. Anthony Bowen. Oh man, no, for me, no, I've never been that close at a wrestling show, so it was awesome for me. On top of that, these guys, their wrestling game has really, really come along, and the crowd just has taken to them. I mean, it's insane. I don't know if you could. I know the Usos are in the bloodline, and that is probably the number one faction. I'll give you that, but just tag team right now, who's most over? I kind of gotta give it to them, and that's why I made them tag team of 2022.
Well, you know what, man? It's very debatable. I go Usos, you go
Acclaim.
oh, damn, why the name escaped me just now.
Acclaim.
Yeah, the Acclaim. But man, you know, either one, I could see either one being the top dog. So, like I said, not mad at your choice, and I know you're not mad at mine.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Moving right along. We're gonna go ladies first. Your female superstar of the year.
Okay, well,
And I'll admit before you go, I cheated. I didn't narrow it down to one. I have two. So
well, you know what? On some of these, I may have like an honorable mention I'll throw in because sometimes it's just hard to pick one. But I went with Bianca. I was critical of her when she first got the title. I thought maybe the moment was too big for her and that she wasn't actually ready to fill those shoes. But she's really stepped her game up, both on the promos and in the ring. And I'm really proud of her. I'm really happy for her. So I'm giving her the nod. I'm giving her the nod. I think she's really stepped into the championship role.
yeah, I agree. I gotta go with Bianca because she's been champ. This is long. I didn't expect to have this long of a title reign, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And they really have treated her and booked her really, really strong. I've just been impressed with everything she's been able to do. The only, I guess, questionable feud as the one that's going on right now with Alexa. I don't really know where this is gonna go. But I will say, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when Bianca got color last week, that kind of helped with the realism of the feud. So, like I said, I don't know if that was intended or not, but that did help.
I would be surprised where it happened on her lip. That's just not typically a place where.
Right.
Yeah. I do think it was inadvertent, but it did add to it though. And sometimes when it's inadvertent, it just kind of happens naturally. I think that's better.
But I have to say, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this person because I think she really did elevate herself and elevate an entire faction and entire division in NXT. And that's Mandy Rose. Now, a lot of people say, well, you love Mandy Rose. Yes, I do.
Well, you do though. But hey, I can't blame you.
Yeah. But it's undeniable that her and Toxic Attraction were, I mean, you could really easily argue like the best women's faction of the year. Strictly women's faction because they, I mean, really, at one point they were the best thing on NXT. It took a little while for me personally to get used to um um uh
Dolan, Gigi Dolan.
not no the
Oh,
male champ
oh, Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Took me a bit to kind of come around on him, but I have. But during that time, I thought Mandy, her wrestling improved. She changed her look. They had the most dominant faction because they were champion. They had tag team championships, and she was winning her matches. And she carried that belt for a year. I mean that says a lot. And I was ready for her to come back up to the main roster. Now, obviously, she's no longer with the company, but she was just on I think it was a Tamron Hall. She was on Tamron Hall the other day, and then
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't
yeah.
know that. Wow. Okay. Go, Mandy.
I'm saying, so is you making it on TV like that fast? So I don't think she ruled it out. I mean, anything is possible. But so but I just had to throw her in because kind of like an honorable mention. I'm giving it to Bianca, but I just had to mention Mandy.
Well, without giving it away, and I'm probably giving it away, she appears on my list in another category.
Okay, well, I'll leave that at that. Your male superstar of the year.
Yeah, for me, this goes to the big dog, the tribal chief, the head of the
Oh,
table,
man.
by any other name. Come on, it's Roman Reigns, man. What this
Roman
dude
Reigns.
has done since he has been champion, and I know he's been champion longer than just this year. But man, he is perfect in that role. I don't know why WWE waited so long to do this, but it is perfect for him. My only criticism is he needs to be on TV more regularly. He wasn't on tonight. I don't like, you know, he's the undisputed champion. He has both belts. Okay,
Right.
so he can appear on both shows, but we don't see him regularly on either show. That would be my only criticism. But as far as what he does in the ring and on the mic and just the overall character he has developed, I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Not, I mean, it's a hard argument. I'll be real. He is the tribal chief. He is the big dog. His promos are unmatched, especially when he really gets his emotions into it. Leading up to that WrestleMania match with Brock, I mean, nobody wanted to see it, but somehow, some way, his promos made you want to see it because he brought up their real history, going back to 31, going back to 34, going back to all the times that Brock's beating him, and just like, I'm not doing this shit with you no more. And even building up to SummerSlam. I mean,
Mhm.
those promos. I mean, he's really elevated himself. Uh, and like you said, yeah, to me, what disqualified him for me was the lack of TV appearances. So that's kind of why I couldn't do it. But I understand. And I'm gonna shock the hell out of everybody with mine because
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can't wait for
uh,
this one.
I wish man, there was ever a time in which Book could be here to see this so he could finally appreciate.
Is this who I think it
He
is?
would really appreciate this.
Oh man. I can't believe it. I knew it. I told you you would come around. I told you you could not resist. I told you you could not resist the Monday Night Messiah, the Friday Night Idiot, as you used to call him, Seth freaking Rollins.
I'm
He
just
was my second choice,
acknowledging,
and it was hard. It was hard, but he was my second choice.
keeping it real, because that's what we do. Um, for somebody to be able to take the amount of L's he took this year and still be over as if he won every match says a lot. So it was kind of undeniable that to me he worked his ass off. He's really embraced this gimmick. He had classic matches with Cody Rhodes.
Oh man.
The first match with Matt Riddle was good at Clash of the Castle. That was good. I didn't care for obviously I talked about it. I obviously hated the
The
fight pit
fight
match.
shit.
Yeah, fight shit match. But not his fault. But yeah, I it's the charisma, obviously the outfits. And I especially like this promo this past Monday on Raw. Um, I just think he's been able to in the crowd. Oh my God, they just cannot get enough, and that tells me everything I need to know. So it's pretty much the same argument I have for the Acclaim. As soon as Burn It Down, you hear Burn It Down, you know what time it is. People are gonna start singing, and you know, it's the hand gesture, the dance, all the stuff. Keep it real.
Wow.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Well, I know our brother is looking down and he
Smile
is
on his
saying,
face.
welcome, yo, man. He's saying, welcome to the dark side. We knew it. But man, you're right. And it's amazing how Seth Rollins, pretty much any character he does, he can make it work, man. He is just a great performer in the ring, out of the ring. And I'm just really enjoying the work he's doing. You know, I saw him Raw came here in May, and obviously him being a native Iowan, crowd was all over it. You know, he came out after the show went dark and said some nice words, and the crowd just ate it all up. You know, man, he loves his home state, and we all appreciate that about him.
Yep. All right. Okay, so your most improved. So we got two of these two. So most improved male and female. So we'll go most improved female.
All right, well, hey, this is where I put Mandy Rose because she is she was a completely different wrestler once she got back to NXT. When they moved her down from the main roster, at first I'm like, wow, you know, I know she wasn't doing great on the main roster, but I didn't think she deserved to go back down to NXT. But man, it's amazing. I mean, the way that she remade her character or they remade her character, however it happened, man, it worked. It worked for her. She stepped up her promo. She stepped up her in-ring work, especially. And when she became champion, she looked like a champion. I was looking forward to seeing her come back to the main roster. I thought she had improved herself enough where they could bring her back and she could be a star on the main roster. Now, she's left and I'm not mad about it. I'm mad as a fan because I would like to see her wrestle, but I ain't mad because of the money she's making. It was a good career decision for her. But
Right.
I definitely thought she was by far the most improved female of the year because she went from being just kind of one of the low ladies on the totem pole on the main roster to being top dog on the NXT roster, and I think could have been an A-lister on the main roster had she made her way back to it.
Yeah, definitely. Way more confident on the mic, way better in the ring. So yeah, definitely. For me, um, I felt like this person was in limbo for a lot of 2021. They didn't know what to do with her. And I really felt like they found the sweet spot. It was a little I can't find my image. What's going on here? It was at first when they repackaged her. Oh, that's why it's file type. 1 second. When they first repackaged her and put her with this group, I didn't know where this was gonna go, but you know what, it's just worked, and I feel like um it's just been the best thing. No, I'm dragging this out. I'm trying to pull up this damn photo.
Yeah, and I would try to join in and help you, but I have no idea whose name you got pulled up or
right.
nothing, so I don't know what to say.
um, ah, this was why I didn't go live. Mm. What is this? There we go. Okay. Bam.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
She's totally been revamped, and the crowd is totally behind. She didn't even wrestle but a handful of matches in 2022, and she was so over. People loved her. She's really embraced this new character, and Judgment Day, while starting off, was a little rocky, but they are fully they've done a 360, and they are really really interesting, and you believe that they. What I like about Judgment Day is they're not just a traditional like this dark brooding clique of people. When you see them and how they interact with each other, it's like they just like friends hanging out. That's how it feels, and that's how they treat it. But they also kick ass in the ring. So I think that really does work. Like they don't have to be they don't take themselves too serious to the point they have to be all stoic and they're reading passages out of the devil's Bible and all that stuff. Like it's not that. Like
Right, right.
like seeing stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen the clips of like Rhea carrying Damian Priest after a match. Um, but the stuff they do during the matches, like they help each other out. They really do take care of each other. So it's different. It really is different and unique. And I think it's really worked for her. The whole mommy and poppy thing with her and Dominic, this on
Oh man, is
screen.
he the luckiest dude on the roster right now getting to be in that storyline?
Yeah. Yep. It really is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely gotta go with Rio.
Okay. That's a good choice, man. Like I said, only one can be the best, but Rhea was definitely a consideration for me, but had to go with your girl, Mandy.
Most improved male.
Okay, I'm gonna get killed for this by the inside man.
Oh.
Yeah, he is not gonna like this at all. But I went with Omos. I went
Oh.
with Omos because it's rare we see 7-footers who can really wrestle at all or really have a convincing character. Now we've seen, look, Andre the Giant, the late great, the beloved Andre the Giant. But honestly, if you look back at Andre's matches, not really the best wrestler. You know what I mean? Um, most guys over 7 feet aren't because it's just that's a it's just an awkward size to be agile. It's hard to move well. It's hard to be quick, fast. You can't really fly and jump around. You can't really do a lot of things. Of guys of that size, maybe Big Show in history has been maybe the most agile, athletic. Um, the Great Khali was not. Giant Gonzalez was not. Now, Big John Studd for a 7-footer, not bad. I'm not sure he was a legitimate 7 foot, though. They built him at 7 foot, but I'm not sure he actually was. But Omos is legitimately what 7'1", 7'2", legitimately.
7'2", yeah, he's like same size as Joel Embiid.
And look, I am not saying that he is a great wrestler, that he is going to be a great wrestler, but I'm saying when you look at where he started before he got to working with AJ and to where he is now, he has greatly improved. And if he continues trending that way, I still don't think he'll ever be great. But like I said, when you talk about the limited number of wrestlers over 7 feet, I think he could be one of the best 7-footers maybe in a long time. So he's putting in the work. And I've heard interviews with him where he's very thankful to AJ for the time AJ has spent working with him. He seems like a humble guy. He seems like he really wants to be good at this, right? He's not just relying on his size. He actually wants to put in the work and be a decent wrestler. So I appreciate that. So that's why I chose him. Sorry, Inside Man.
No, I agree with you, man. I like Omos. I think pairing him with MVP was smart. And I think that if they want to do the Hurt Business again, I've said this, if they want to do the Hurt Business again, they really should just consider him and Bobby and let them be the Hurt Business. Shelton, let Shelton and Cedric do something else. I think that having Big Bobby and even bigger Omos is to me a better way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So for me, I did have somebody else, but I can't deny. Well, I'll say who my original was after I tell you who my actual pick is. So I can't deny this dude has come up so fast, but he's been booked so well, and it's believable. And I can't wait to see what they do with him in 2023. Solo Sikoa.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Okay.
Man, they have booked him perfect.
Yep.
He is believable. And I mean, I know he wasn't booked terribly in NXT, but it was a little all over the place. But man, to come in and have the impact you've had that fast, that believable, and for them to book him so correctly, and he hadn't had to say much. He's the enforcer. He's the tough guy. We saw tonight what he did. Yeah. Yeah. Enough said. Everything from his entrance to his look, and then they dubbed him like they gave him Umaga's move, the Samoan Spike.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, just constantly improving on him. So I had to go Solo to give the actual nod to as most improved, definitely. And if I had to have a runner up, being real, and it's probably not a popular opinion amongst most people, but can't deny that Austin Theory had a pretty damn good second half of the year. I mean,
My second choice. My second choice. I love what they're doing with both of those guys. I like with Solo that they didn't insult our intelligence. Okay, we know the connection he had with Roman and with the Usos. He's their little brother, Rikishi's other son. I'm glad they just went with that. Didn't try to, outthink the room. They just went with that. With Theory, when they brought him up at first, man, I wasn't sure. And then they got him doing these little vignettes with Vince trying to convince us that he was the chosen one. I still wasn't sure, but man, as it's gone on, it's worked for me. And I think Theory is great at what he's doing. And like you, I can't wait to see what they have in store for him coming up this year.
Yeah, I like they've gotten away from the selfie thing, and he's wearing the jacket now and the chains, and he's feeling himself, and he should as a heel, and that works way better for me, and I take his matches more seriously now. So yeah, he definitely had to be real and say yeah. But definitely him and Solo, the future's bright. Okay, and we at the main event. Rob the Ambassador. Your top 3 matches, sir.
Okay. All right. So it's always tough because, man, how many matches do we watch each year between AEW,
WWE,
WWE?
and we had like side shows like Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah. So, we watch a lot of matches is what we're trying to say. So had to narrow it down to 3. So, man, this is tough. But I'm going to do these in order from 3 to 1. So my third best match of the year was one you and I actually saw in person in Chicago. Hell in the Cell, main event.
Okay.
Seth freaking Rollins against Cody Rhodes, their rematch. First of all, Cody just gets my respect for coming out with a pec torn completely off of the bone. We all saw the huge bruise, but man, and I thought after I heard that and knew he was wrestling in that condition, I thought, well, they're in Hell in the Cell, are they going to hold back? Is it going to be what we're accustomed to in Hell in the Cell? Well, you know what, man, him and Seth, obviously Seth being a great dance partner coming out in the old Dusty Rhodes polka dots from the early back in the day, the WWF it was at the time. But man, the match itself, look, these guys just sometimes 2 wrestlers just have great chemistry, just make magic together whenever they're in the ring. That's what these 2 guys do. And so that was my number 3 match of the year. Number 2, I don't know how a lot of people are going to feel about this one. I think everybody will agree that it was a great match, but do they think it was one of their top? Clash at the Castle wasn't the best card of the year, but Sheamus versus Gunther is one
Oh,
of the most physical, brutal matches I've
yeah,
seen all year. When I
yeah.
heard that match was announced, I had high hopes for it. I thought that these two could put on a good show, and man, they did. And I love this match. Gunther came out on top, but Sheamus didn't make it easy. Both men left with you know uh bruises and welts.
Well,
It was
yeah.
physical. It was
Oh,
tough.
chops,
And
man. The whole
yeah,
beginning of the match being chops. You would think that would suck. It did not.
no, man, no, man. Definitely, if you have not seen that match, go back and look at that one. But I enjoyed that match. I loved it. My second favorite of the year. My first of the year, we're going back to Cody and Seth from WrestleMania. We all knew that Cody was coming back because we live in an age where that kind of stuff gets out, and I said this at the time. Imagine that moment if we didn't know.
Mhm.
Imagine we had no idea Cody Rhodes was coming back. That's neither really here nor there, because what we're there to see is the match, right? We're there to see him wrestle Seth Rollins. Man, I tell you what, it's just it's a great thing. We watch, as we said, we watch a lot of matches. Most of them aren't very memorable, but this is one I will never, ever, ever forget. One of the greatest matches I have ever seen at WrestleMania and that I've ever seen anywhere. These guys coming into the match, I figured with Cody making the big comeback, of course he would get over, but that's what a great match does, is that it convinces you that, wow, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe Seth is going to win, because the way it's going back and forth, and Seth has the advantage, and then, oh wait, no, Cody has the advantage now. It was an absolute clinic. It was entertainment and drama all the way through. Love this match. I've watched it back a couple of times.
Mhm.
Loved it.
Uh-huh.
Easily my favorite match of the year. Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania 38.
Yeah. Um, it was a moment in time. I swear, I've gone back and watched on YouTube. They had like all these compilations of people, their live reactions when Cody came back and made the entrance, and people were, believe it or not, people, a lot of people, well, a lot of people knew it was gonna be him, or 99% sure it was gonna be him. A group of people that had no idea who was gonna be. A lot of people thought Bray Wyatt. There was strong contention for Bray Wyatt. There was strong contention that was gonna be Goldberg. Um, um, but the other mystery was, if it's Cody, which Cody are we getting? Are we gonna get the AEW Cody, the
Oh,
American
okay.
Nightmare?
Are we gonna get Stardust?
Hopefully, I did not think we were going to. Though in that match, he did make reference to Stardust at the
Hmm.
beginning. Um, because I did go back and watch this. This is my number 3, which is why I'm just continuing on from what you said. This is my
Oh,
number.
okay.
A lot of
Okay.
people are like, "What? Number 3?" Yes.
I'm kind of thinking like, wow, okay, I can't wait to hear your number 2 and number 1.
So for me, yeah, it is number 3, and it's done this thing where I've gone back and forth with this and another match for number 1, because I just was so enthralled with these two matches, and I guess because of these two guys, I expect them to deliver. They did deliver, but I expect it from them, and I don't have a bad thing to say about the match. I loved it. It was great. It was top 3 match of the year, like I said, and number 3 for me. So that's where it landed. Number 2, a match we saw live in person. Talked about these guys earlier. The Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory. This match was insane. Okay. This had, outside of the other guys, press conference promo.
Mm.
This is what everybody else was talking about coming out of All Out that year, last year, and wow, what a match! And the other reason why people were talking about this because the number one question was, "Hey Tony, did you ever think about changing the finish? Because the crowd kind of flipped in the middle of the match, which they did." And man, there was so many near falls in this match that we all bid on, and the claim was right there, and they almost won. And Swerve and Our Glory did retain, but wow, these four brothers put together, to me, the best match on the card. If you ever want to go back and watch All Out from 2022, that is the best match on the card, and that's the card that consisted of the Young Bucks and um it was they had who they face the Death Triangle
Yeah, it was the Young Bucks and Kenny.
and Death Triangle, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, to have a better match than them, I mean, yeah. So yeah, that was definitely number 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, for me, and it shouldn't matter because if the match was good, the match was good. But had the Acclaim gotten over like I believe they should have, I think that really elevated the match because I really feel that it was their night and they should have won that night.
Yeah. A lot of times I think they get caught up in what they originally want to do. And I look, sometimes you just got call an audible and go with what's going on in the arena. And
Yeah, read
especially
the
if you're gonna
room.
go this route anyway, just go ahead and do it. But I guess maybe they wanted to slow burn that whole split between Swerve and Keith Lee. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1, and this is gonna be a first. I don't think I've ever done this before on these best and worst of shows, but I am giving the number 1 nod to the ladies
Oh, hey, I like it. Oh, I
because
think I know which one you're going with.
I
I think I know what you're going with.
absolutely, by far, to me, the most impressive match of the year. Where's my damn slide? Oh, I don't know if I pulled it up here. I'm getting ready and shit.
Well, I think I have a feeling I'm not going to give it away, but if it's the match I think it is, I think that's a good call because we support the ladies here, and so I'm glad to see him get the nod for your top match of the year.
Yep. Bianca Belair and Becky versus Becky Lynch. Now this has to go back to the prior SummerSlam, even, especially redeeming that. With 8-second match, some shit.
No.
To have
Yeah.
a match from the entrances to just the match itself, phenomenal. I mean, this was a phenomenal job. I went back and watched just this week. I went back and watched both the Cody and the Seth Rollins match at Mania and this match. Becky Lynch had the Marvel logo leading into her entrance, like she had all her scenes like they do Marvel. That's how she came out, and then Bianca came out to the marching band, which was awesome. Uh, and just what a match! The storytelling, just the feeling, the atmosphere, and the fact that at the time, I guess I must have missed it when Becky Lynch goes for that front flip off the top turnbuckle. I guess she's going for a senton, but she didn't get all of it. But she caught Bianca with the heel of her boot and the eye, and that's when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's how she hurt her eye. Okay. She's a slow sweller, I guess, because it took a while, but by the time the match is over, you kind of tell, like, oh yeah, she got her good. But fought through it, finished the match. The match was phenomenal, and that was probably the biggest KOD you'll ever see. I mean, that was off the chain. She really slammed the shit out of Becky, and Becky sold the hell out of it. And the roar, the explosion of the crowd when she won was insane. And so, yes, I'm giving it to the ladies this time. They did a phenomenal job. WrestleMania felt like WrestleMania because of that was the first match that felt like WrestleMania to me was these two ladies. So hats off to them, and I can't wait for this year.
Hmm.
Well, that is going to do it for the best of 2022. We look forward to 2023.
Oh yeah.
What it has in store. Royal Rumble. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of speculation around this Royal Rumble, a lot of names being thrown around. I guess until last week we didn't. I mean, there was even rumors that Roman would be in the Rumble, but I guess now he's not because of he's got a match now. So, there's obviously names like Rock and Stone Cold, Goldberg. The names are being thrown out that they could realistically be in the Rumble.
Yeah, why would Roman be in the Rumble? To defend his title?
Well, Brock was in the Rumble a couple years ago.
Was he champion at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just don't get it because I remember, because he had to defend his, but the whole point of the Rumble is the winner gets the championship match at Mania. So
Yeah.
Look, I hate that they give us so many entrants because we know there's going to be some surprises. Now I'm assuming Cody will be back.
Yeah.
Will we see people like Big E? He says not until March. He has another doctor's appointment.
He can't even.
Yeah, so he can't even. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm really shocked that they don't make him an on-screen presence because brother's got personality. He doesn't have to wrestle.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see. Look, it's in Texas. I mean, I don't think we'll see Taker, but
No, not the Taker's done.
Well, he said never say never at his Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I look, man. I just wanted him to walk out of the ring after saying his goodbyes, but then he puts that jacket and that hat on. Never say never.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm calling never on that one. Just chill, man. Enjoy your life.
Hey, I agree. I'm just saying, you never know.
Wouldn't mind him popping up just do a promo or a segment or like a pop-up choke slam or something like that. Pop-up
maybe
something like that.
Yeah, maybe one of the heels, or some I don't know.
Yeah, if he just popped up on somebody, like I said, did a finisher on them, okay, cool. I'm down with that, but not a match. No.
If The Rock makes an appearance, well, then we know what the main event for Mania will be immediately. If we hear, if you smell, we already know.
I don't think. Here's the thing: if and I'll leave it at this: if the fantasy booking of The Rock and Roman Reigns was to come to fruition, it does not need to be for the championship. Okay, we don't need that. The only match I want to see for the championship at Mania is Cody and Roman. Now, I could potentially see Cody versus Seth versus Roman, but I don't think that would have the same juice as just straight up Cody versus Roman. So you got two generational stars that got both have family histories. I mean, you could tell a fantastic story between those two. So I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, I think if it is Rock, look, obviously it'd be for the title. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but look, the title just elevates any match because there's stakes. We always talk about that in matches that, there's stakes.
But if it's for the title, he ain't gonna win it because he got too much shit going on.
We know The Rock ain't gonna win it anyway. We know he ain't gonna win it anyway. Even if it ain't for the title, Rock ain't gonna win. But I don't know, man, if it's gonna be Rock. I almost think it would be better if it's Cody, because like you said, The Rock kind of takes away some of the suspense of the match. Cody, we know, actually has a chance to win. The Rock don't. And I don't see Roman losing the title before Mania, because if he doesn't have the strap, then who is the champion coming into Mania and who are they wrestling?
Right. I tell you what, though, if you do Roman and Rock, you're going to have a Hogan Hogan Rock situation. Because as much as people love throwing up that one, a lot of people that grew up on Rock are going to be behind him. I'm sorry,
Well,
Rock will cut him down to size. Ain't gonna be
but
no
you know what, man?
about John Cena.
I would love that, man. That match between Hogan and Rock, Book and I were there at Billy Joe's Picture Show, theater full of people. It was the same there as it was in the arena. Half the people for Rock, half of them for Hogan. And that was a great, tremendous atmosphere. So if you can replicate that with Roman and Rock, that would be awesome.
And logistically speaking, Rock is, well, he's the big dog. He's the tribal chief. He's not as big as Rock. I'm sorry, he's just not. Physically, I'm talking about. He's just not as big as the Rock will stand in front of him, and he will make Roman look small.
Yeah, but The Rock is older. I mean, I know he's big and he's bad, but he's old. I just look. I guess I just don't believe it's believable Rock could beat Roman, but it would be a great story. But my problem with it is that I guess I was hoping that if Rock was going to fight Roman, they would have already had started planting the seeds for this feud. We would already be hearing The Rock talking about, well, wait a minute, how is he the tribal chief of this family? Look, did he forget who I am, what I did, for this family? I thought they would already be planting those seeds to have Rock just suddenly pop up at the Rumble and win, and then they start the storyline. To me, that, I don't know, man, that just seems kind of rushed and forced. But maybe The Rock's schedule wouldn't allow him to get involved, before the Rumble.
That's why I would say I agree and disagree with what you just said, because I'm just like, yeah, you're right, and you should, because the proof is in the pudding, right? They booked John Cena and The Rock a year out, and how much hype did that get? That got worldwide.
Oh man, they were on ESPN, CBS
TV
Sports,
across
Good Morning
all
America. They were
yeah,
everywhere.
exactly. So yeah, but if you're The Rock, the most in-demand person in Hollywood, you don't want to half-ass commit to saying, yeah, I'll do it, and then stuff comes up, and you're like, I can't really give this 100%, because I got the XFL, I got movies I'm doing, I got other businesses, I got all this other stuff I'm producing, I got my tequila brand. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be. He's in shape for a man that's 50, but there's nothing like being in ring shape. So you gotta make time to train, knock the rust off, things of that nature. So
Yeah, and there's always, like I said, let's see, February, that gives us 2 months. Let's just say Rock does show up, Rock does win the Rumble. That gives us 2 months to go ahead. Rock could just say, well, I entered the Rumble and I did this because I'm tired of Roman running his mouth about how he's the tribal chief, blah, blah, blah. They could still make it work. I would still eat it up.
oh, I'll eat it up.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to sell out SoFi Stadium,
Yeah.
it ain't a bigger match you can make.
But I tell you what, I think if it ends up being Roman and Cody, I think people would be all over that. Not as much as The Rock, because obviously The Rock transcends just wrestling. I mean, he's a worldwide phenomenon, biggest movie star in the world. But I do think, just for pure wrestling fans, Roman versus Cody would be
Oh
a
yeah,
big draw as well.
I want to see that too.
Yeah, it's
So,
got to happen sooner or later. I mean, if not at Mania, sometime, maybe SummerSlam then.
yeah, but definitely it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. The best of and the worst of is in the books. You can check us out on all your favorite podcast platforms if you just want to listen to straight audio, or you can check us out on YouTube and you can see our faces and get the background and all that good stuff. Make sure you check out the gaming streams I've been doing. Try to do at least one stream a night. Currently playing God of War Ragnarok as well as Fortnite. Fortnite kind of be a staple always in between, but the main game right now is God of War. I put up a poll for the next game to play. So far, Gotham Knights is winning. So if y'all don't see the other game, better start voting. Got the latest Trying to Laugh Martin Preacher up. She check that out. And please send us what you would like us to react to, because we definitely will do that reaction as soon as you send it. We will get on it and do it. And email us with your suggestions at Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. No, sorry. Email us at thirdgenwrestling@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram at Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. And you can hit us up on Twitter at podcast_third. And TikTok is Third Generation Wrestling Pod. So you can check us out on all those platforms. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing. Subscriptions going up. Really appreciate you all commenting. Retrospective, I'm guessing Sunday. Does that work for you?
Yeah, Sunday should work. Monday is also a day off for me. I don't know if you have it off.
I am 99% sure I'll be off Monday.
Okay, so
that would work too.
yeah, I got some playoff football to watch. The wife's team is in the playoffs, so
Right.
but
if Monday will work too.
Yeah, but either way, I'll get it in. I'll get it in this weekend.
Cool. So it's fully loaded, $19.99 for those that don't know.
You still haven't given me the season and episode.
Let me do it now.
Okay.
That's out of my mind.
Yeah, because I ain't going out there and search for it. Peacock got to get their shit together.
Yeah, Peacock. I swear, I will say this until if they ever leave Peacock. WWE Network, the second when they updated it was so much better because you go straight to the event.
Yeah.
And they had it bookmarked per match.
Right.
I could go straight to a match.
Yep. Jump to a match.
I hate it when they switched it to Peacock. Anyway, I digress. But make sure you all check us out on all those platforms. We really do appreciate you all. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching the best of 2022. Ambassador, take it away.
All right. Following up on what Biggie said, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support for all these years. I'm going to keep saying that we're trying to do bigger, better things in 2023. We can't do it without all of you and without you spreading the word about us. So please do that. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody. I'm sending this to the ambassador and take care, everybody. We'll speak to y'all again soon on a retrospective. We rewind the clocks back to 1999. Fully loaded. Take care, everybody.
All right.